So there's a couple of things about this new Tacoma, the 2024 Tacoma, that's driving me a little nuts. You know, little pet peeve kind of things, I guess. You know, the first, and I've talked about this before, I'm not going to go into great detail, is the seat height. You know, I've got the manual seats, and I've talked about before, every time I get in or out, my rear end scrapes across the lever that lowers and raises the seat. In my case, lowers it, and I'm constantly having to jack the seat back up. You know, if I didn't do that, eventually, I guess I'd be sitting on the floor. It drives me nuts. It just shouldn't be that way. Secondly, and take a look at this. That is a picture of the tire pressure, I guess. Well, I don't guess. It is the tire pressure. And I'm a stickler for that. You know, I don't ever want to get stranded anywhere if I can help it with a flat tire, right? Then I'd have to take out all the tools, get in the back, use that crazy jack that they give us, and put that piece of garbage donut temporary spare on. I don't ever want to have to do that. So I'm always looking at tire pressure. You know, I pull it up in front of me, and when it's down, and it happens all the time, I don't know if it's because of bigger tires. I generally think it's because of temperature change and maybe front changes that go through, you know, weather stuff, and the pressure in the air changes and air seeps out. I don't know, but invariably, it's never what I put it at for very long. You can see it was all over the place. The one that worries me, though, is the back passenger side on the right side of the truck. That showed 34 psi. Now, I never run my tires at 34. I always try to keep them at, well, 36 is what I shoot for. I'm sure I'm a little over or under every time. But 34 is a little bit lower than I think would have just normally seeped out. However, I don't know the last time I filled them if I actually was, you know, 35.5 or 36.2. So, you know, it's not an accurate reading, obviously. There's always some decimal point in there. So maybe I was at 35.7 or something like that, and 0.7 left as far as air leaving, right, of the percentage of the whole thing, or of the total. So I'm going to go with that. I will say that since I've been driving around, the tire pressure in that tire, as well as all the others, of course, has come up. So if there was a leak, I would expect it not to come up and maybe even go down. So I think I'm okay. Hopefully no nails, fingers crossed. Now, the next thing is the engine, the noise. It doesn't bother me when I'm driving, but now that I'm aware of it, and you should never start your vehicle and walk around to the front, you know, put it in park first, walk around to the front and listen to your engine. Because if you don't like it, it's gonna haunt your brain. It's like a weevil in there, burrowing. And that's kind of what it's like for me. Now I hear the engine all the time when I'm sitting still or I have the window down or whatever, and that constant cycling of what is probably the air conditioner. I think it's perfectly normal. I don't think there's anything wrong with the truck whatsoever. And it's certainly nothing that I would take the truck in and have it looked at. They'd probably look at me and say, this guy's nuts. And I probably am. But nonetheless, I hear it all the time, and it's driving me a little crazy. Am I gonna do anything about it? Would I dump the Tacoma because of it? No, I wouldn't do anything like that. But it's just something that's there, something to point out, I guess. Next is the gauge cluster. I love the gauge cluster. Love the way that it looks. Love all of the readings and the digital appearance of it. I think it's awesome. A heck of an improvement over what we had in the 3rd gen. But trying to get, I guess, a screen to stay all the time doesn't seem to work, or at least I haven't been able to figure it out. If anybody out there knows how to do it, the way to get something, let's say on the left side, one of the screens that you can pull up, to stay as a default all the time, I would love to know. Leave a comment down below and let me know. And what I'm talking about, and this goes back to the tire pressures again. You know, I would love to have the tire pressure readings as a default when I start the truck. I mean, I can go through the settings, and by the way, if you don't know how to do it, at least get to it. You just hold down on the OK button on the steering wheel while you're on settings, and then another box will come up. You arrow over to the left, and you can run through the different things that you can pull up on that little screen. They won't stay, but at least you'll be able to see them while you're driving. And by the way, they do stay while you're driving. It's not like they go away or default back to anything as long as the truck is continuously running. What I think happens after you park the truck for a little while, you know, and everything kind of goes into sleep mode, when you wake it up again, it wakes up in factory default mode, I think, which is not with the the tire pressure gauge on. Kind of a bummer. Another little, I guess, pet peeve thing of mine. I'm going to continue to try to figure out what it is. Again, if anybody out there knows, I would certainly appreciate you educating me, because apparently I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I don't know. There's one final thing about this truck that I find irritating. You know, I do mods and things to the truck on the channel. It's what I love to do, and it's a big part of the channel, right? And one of the biggest mods I think that most people do, other than lifts and wheels and tires and all that stuff, is the grill on the front. You know, on the last truck that I had a customized grill. This one was lighted from the back. It had RobMotive in the grill, obviously the channel name. And I really thought it was pretty cool myself. Might be kind of cheesy, I know, but I liked it. Of course, the most popular change out there for grills, I guess, is going with the TRD Pro grill. A better look for the front of the truck, I think. And there is a TRD Pro kind of grill that you can put on this truck. But the problem is Toyota made it so complicated. It's not like it used to be where you just undo those 4 screws on the top, lift the little brackets up over the screw holes so that you don't rip that off, and then just grab the truck and pull, right? Or not the truck, but the grill. I suppose you could pull the truck. But grab the grill and pull, put the new one on the same way, or maybe take the guts out of the old one and put the new guts in the new or the old surround. You guys know what I'm talking about that have done it. Very, very simple. Not anymore. To change the grill, you have to take basically the front end of the frickin' truck off. And you have the louvers behind the grill to deal with. You see, they're connected to the grill area itself. It's not that it can't be done, but it's a major undertaking. And let me tell you, if you've ever seen anybody remove the front part of the truck, the Tacoma, then you know it has all those little push tab or tab things in it, and they break. I've never seen anybody, and people that replace the headlights have done this, I've never seen anybody put that whole thing back together and have it the way that it was before. They either have now a gap right where the bumper fascia is next to the front fender, or they have pieces that stick out. They don't replace the connectors, I guess, that break. They're just plastic after all. So anyway, that's another issue I guess I have, or pet peeve, whatever you want to call it, concerning the 2024 Tacoma. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this stuff. Would it drive you nuts? Would it drive you nuts to the point that you'd get rid of the truck? Somebody told me that because of the engine sound, they actually traded the 2024 off. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.